a special segment today at News 45 Exchange. I'm Swisi Vitarnage, the head of news here in Sri Lanka, and you're joining today with me on live of News 45 Exchange. In this segment, we would like to discuss the issues of stockpiling vaccines and other medical products in quantities that are done by the majority due to the global pandemic. I'm delighted to introduce the spokesperson of WTO, Devmini Bandaranaike, also honored to have the new Attorney General joining us from Hong Kong, Wilson. My first question goes out to Wilson. Sir, would you like to discuss with us the provisions of the GATT that applies when these measures are taken into place?
Thank you, Sufisi, for your introduction. Hello, everyone. I'll be discussing some of the measures countries have taken to combat the COVID-19 pandemic and how it potentially contravenes the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, which I'll be referring to as the GATT. Article 11 of the GATT covers quantitative restrictions on imports and exports, and paragraph 1 of that article forbids any contracting party from restricting the exportation of any product destined for another contracting party, as long as the measure is not in the form of charges, taxes, or duties. It specifically states restrictions on imports and exports are not allowed. A similar case is when Colombia decided to impose certain restrictions that would make it extremely difficult for Panama to import certain goods in 2007. Colombia was found to have contravened Article 11 by taking up measures to restrict the importation of goods. Under Article 11, it does seem at face value that the stockpiling of medical equipment and vaccines and restricting the exportation of it breaches Article 11 of quantitative restrictions. However, there are defenses available for these nations. Article 11, paragraph 2a and Article 20b. Article 11, paragraph 2a allows quantitative restrictions as long as the purpose is to relieve or prevent critical shortages of essential products. Countries could use this and argue that the demand for medical equipment increases, therefore stockpiling it is necessary. Article 20b permits contravention of any article in the GATT as long as it is necessary to protect human life or health. Countries could argue any equipment related to treating or slowing down the pandemic is necessary to protect human health. Thus, they should be allowed to restrict the exports of such items.
Thank you, ma'am. According to these statements done by the Attorney General, I would like to ask you if there are amounts of breaches of states' obligations or any other expectations that will justify their imposition.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Subhesi. First of all, hello everyone, I'm Devmini speaking. When talking about GATT, Article 11, it says that quantitative restrictions are restricted for both imports and exports. But in Article 11, paragraph 2 temporarily apply to prevent the critical storages for essential products of exporting country are permitted. So what is this critically storage? Critical storage means in here it must be a crucial moment that will occur a deficiency in quantity of medical products in that country and causes a crisis. Since the virus spread rapidly and created a huge pandemic, state needed the medical and essential equipment to protect their frontline workers, infected people, uninfected civilians. At this moment, many of the state countries are unprepared for the outbreak of COVID-19 and suffering from critical storage of medical supplies which are critically important to prevent against the COVID-19 virus. As the most important vital part to protect their public health, it's necessary to keep a temporary stock that essential medical items. So therefore, in Article 2, and the GATT provisions are applicable for the export restrictions that have been made. However, stockpiling that exceed their required needs is not the under GATT provisions.
However, like you said, I just want to know, would it make a difference, for example, restrictions were imposed and maintained by only one selected country?
Well, it's not making a difference to Suzy, because in GATT 1 outlines the most favored principle with the non-discriminatory principle. So in Article 1, it says that any given concessions granted to a one country is applicable for the each and every members without any conditions. So however, in Article 1, this non-discriminating is for like products, which is usually based on tariffs. So we can say that it's not applicable for the medical products like vaccines, but the exporting country should have to prove that the stockpiling and not allowing the medical products to other state is not non-discriminating thing. So that's what needed to see.
Thank you for clarifying. We have another special guest who is a professor from Yale who has a PhD on trade and non-trade issues. Please welcome Tarushi Mendis. So nice to have you with us this evening. My first question is to you. What is the ability of the WTO, in particular of the sustainability of Article 20, expectations in dealing with trade-related consequences of the global pandemic?
Thank you, Swissy. On the other hand, according to my research, Article 10 states that members may use a general exception to justify their export restrictions. A successful abjuration of Article 20 must satisfy a three-tiered process. Firstly, a measure must fall within the range of policies designed to achieve the objective listed in subparagraphs A and J. Secondly, the measure must be necessary to achieve the said objective. And thirdly, the measure is applied in a manner that is consistent with the schedule of Article 20. In terms of medical supply, the restriction on exports are limited. It can possibly also be justified under subparagraphs B and J, which allow for measures that are necessary to protect human life or health and essential to the acquisition or distribution of products in general or local short supply.
Dr. Tarushi, I would like to ask you if the WTO be concerned with the non-trade related issues, or should it stick to its belief?
To begin with, one non-trade issue relating to the GATT is Article 20. In addition, the WTO could establish a new and enforceable COVID-19 vaccine investment. By doing so, it is evident that early at-risk investment in vaccine manufacturing capacity will result in significant net benefits for countries of all income levels. As stated by the Council of Foreign Relations, it was not easy to get so many competing entities to work together in the United States. But its success is already clear. The even more complex policy challenge now is to get the rest of the world vaccinated.
With that, we round up our news for today. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you again for our special guest. Make sure you tune in again at 8 p.m. See you tomorrow. Good night.